Hi everyone. Well, wait a minute. Hi everyone. Welcome to a new video. This video is a bit different. We'll be looking at the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, which is like some DLC, so downloadable content. But we'll be discussing that with my friend Noel,
Hey.
who's over here. Who's over here. So just a bit of background. We met at university around 2010. He was a guy I sat next to, and ever since then, we've been friends this whole time. But he was the one who actually introduced me to this game as well. So he was a big inspiration in it. So I'll just let Noel talk about himself, a bit about his gaming and what kind of stuff he likes. So yeah, Noel, just take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to point out, I want to take full credit for your full love and enjoyment of this game. That it was all down to myself. I just want that on the record. No, so I think, yeah, I mean, it's been a good 10-year relationship so far, still going strong.
Yeah.
Between us. And yeah, I mean, I'm into like fairly similar games to yourself, like massive Assassin's Creed like fan and like sort of that kind of hack and slash style game. But I think it's great we're talking about this game because it kind of fills the gap that Assassin's Creed isn't filling for many fans anymore. And this is kind of like the perfect game, which is kind of why I'm so obsessed with it. And I got you and like all my other friends obsessed with it. So yeah, it'd be great to just like have a chat about it, really.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll just talk about the game generally, apart from the DLC, and then we'll get to the DLC. So I think everyone knows my thoughts on this game since I shared a video of it and like the positives about it. There's not really any negative I can find, which is quite rare in any game. But so just generally, just a summary, your thoughts on the game and how you feel about it.
So yeah, I think it's very rare nowadays that you pick up a game and you kind of love every single aspect of it. But this is one of those games from the moment you're like riding down to the beach, you're like completely invested in the character from a very early stage.
Yeah.
And then one of those games that it spoon feeds you like great quality content as you progress through. It doesn't just like give you a load of like give it a huge skill set straight away and just let you go and explore. It really makes you work for those upgrades, and everything just seems to flow really well. I think that's a good way to describe it. The game just flows really nicely.
Yeah.
It's worth pointing out, like, the only negative I could find about this game was the climbing.
Oh yeah.
It's the one thing that bugbears me about this game. Like, you're climbing up a cliff, and there are these big, like, obvious slabs for you to grip onto. Other than that, the game's pretty flawless for me.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah. I mean, in terms of like what I like most about the game, it's probably the combat. In all honesty, the combat is the one thing that just doesn't get boring, like in comparison to other games. Like you're constantly on your toes. You're constantly, if you're not, paying attention, it doesn't matter how many skills you've upgraded, how many like great weapons or gadgets you've got. If you don't pay attention, you can be dead in like 2 strokes.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I feel the same way. It's I don't know. It's just one of the better ones because it really feels like it has some purpose. So like when you have a reason to play a game, then and the character has like you're part of his life and his journey, and because there's like because of it's like historic as well, and because he's just in such a traumatic state when you start the game. It's kind of mad because yeah, as you said, you start in like when someone's killed, like the whole beach stuff, and then you follow his journey, and yeah.
I did die on the beach, I hasten to add.
Well, I think you're supposed to, aren't you?
No, I mean, like, playing the game, my character got killed through my actions within the first, like...
Damn.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying?
Yeah. just that I thought like as long as you have a purpose and a reason to play, and the story is so key, I think that's what really hooks you in with this game, because you feel like you're taking part in his journey to like win his land back, take his country back, and like it's to like just save the whole of the land. That's what I thought is really big in that. It's like it gives you a reason to play. It's not just random missions with like side characters in the story. They're all sort of linked together. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of what's been missing in certain other games. You genuinely embody that character, and you actually feel like a samurai. You feel like a proper assassin while you're playing it, which is really lacking in like the likes of the Assassin's Creed games. Don't know what they're doing nowadays. God.
yeah. But yeah, let's just talk about the DLC. So let's just not talk about the game as of yet. But did you like the art book and stuff like that, where it showed you the drawings before the game even started? Like I don't know how they imagined such a world like this, because the drawings are so detailed in the art book of this.
Well, yeah, it was probably like 20 minutes just going through. It was amazing. Like
I did that as well.
I was just like, oh my God, this is fantastic. I was thinking I might even try drawing some of them myself. Like I like drawing anyway. So I think just as you say, it almost looks like well, obviously it looked like a comic book at first, and then you think, how did they take this and like imagine it into this incredible world and like put on that sort of video game, platform? Like that was incredible. Obviously the landscapes and everything is gorgeous, but also like I think what comes across from like Sucker Punch anyway is just the level of care, and it kind of shines through in everything in this game, and it's down to the artwork, the landscape, the armor sets, characters wear. Those are always just amazing. So that was lovely content to just like explore and give you a bit more insight to the game and how it's made.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's just so detailed in that game, and you could, as you say, they're taking a lot of care with it. Even the stuff with the haikus, where you can come up with a random stone, and you pick like what you want to reflect on about life and his journey in the game, which I thought was quite amazing, because there's really no purpose for the player for that, apart from like just immersing yourself in the world that he's in, because that doesn't benefit your character, or like it doesn't give you ability, it doesn't help you like in fighting, but it's kind of like a mental state to help you like get immersed in the game.
And I don't also think that any other game would have pulled it off. I don't know. I feel like in any other game, but probably would have thought, why am I even doing this? What is this for? But for somehow it just works with Ghost of Tsushima. And because when you do it, you're always just, they show the gorgeous setting and the music comes in, and you're just like, oh, this is amazing.
That was really cool. But did you complete the DLC though?
I did,
the actual game. Okay, I was just wondering about that. But so that's the art book. Pretty cool, very detailed. But what do you think about the interview section when they spoke with the developer from Sucker Punch, and there was a host and also someone from the University of Japan?
There was a historian as well.
Yeah, some historian about the accuracy of the game and how it was.
Well, I think they dealt with it in a really nice way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a video game, and they acknowledge it's nice for a historian to acknowledge. Obviously, it's not going to be historically accurate, but he was so on board with everything. He was just like, oh, well, that armor for the time, that's complete fantasy. However, that guy looks really cool as he's walking, so it's fine. But I like that it was, the game is so rooted in history, and then they obviously take liberties with it in order to make a fun video game. But at the same time, they're quite respectful of the culture.
Yeah.
Like, because, American company, but you can tell they really wanted the blessing of actual Japanese people. And so they were quite, they seem to be very conscious with not offending or not doing anything too out there to, how do I put this? Insult the culture or anything like that.
Yeah. And something I found interesting as well is like the historian said there's not actually a lot recorded during this period. So this game helps to bring life to this actual period. And if you wanted to see what it was like, the historian said this is probably the most accurate that you would see of this period of time. So I thought that was a credit to the developers to create such a game like that where they can like live and breathe of what's going on.
Mm. And as well, just kind of give that like proper samurai experience. Like most samurai games are more like, as they said, in the kind of fantastic, like, supernatural side. This was more of a realistic feudal Japan-based game, which you can, as you say, get a picture of.
Yeah.
So no, I loved that whole interview. It was great.
Yeah, and I thought it was a bit different as well, because when you get DLC with games, I've never seen anything like that, where you get something so unique with it, because usually you just get the product, but to get the insight into how the game was made, and this just wasn't some bull thing saying, oh, it was ambitious, we tried our best. Like it was quite a detailed interview, like, because most games put something out before they release the game, like, oh, this is what we did, but it's never actually that detailed when you look into the mindset of the developer, or like someone else that's critiquing it, basically. Like there's nothing like that I've seen. So yeah, I thought that was really unique DLC, and I thought it was really good. But yeah, let's get into the gameplay. So you start off and go to another island that's being terrorized by the eagle, which is like the villain in this one. You start off, and then your horse disappears because you go on a boat onto a new island, and then you kind of have to work out what's going on. But yeah, first of all, what do you think of the surroundings and the world of this island, and compare it with the other ones?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, it gave you kind of exactly what you expected from the like previous game, like the main story game, and then it obviously gives you even more. So it's still that same gorgeous quality, but it's just different enough, I think. They didn't try and be too radically different, but they gave you enough like mystery and intrigue to want to go and explore these new places. So that I really liked. It was business as usual, but with just enough intrigue. So I was really ready to just jump straight back into it, to be honest with you. And it was exciting again because, like, when you get a game, you play through the story like once or twice, and then you kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to get excited again for this, like, a very similar game was really nice.
Yeah, I was quite lucky as well, because this game came out like a year ago.
Yeah,
but I was
not that
lucky.
long ago.
Yeah, so I played it, and I was lucky that when I completed it, a few weeks later, there's DLC. So it was like just playing the extension of the game and carrying on from the story. But yeah, I really like the world. It's a bit more unique with the beaches, a bit more green stuff. I like the
Felt wilder
surroundings
as well in parts as well.
Yeah, with the like monkeys and stuff.
Yeah.
Around the island.
And in some ways, it felt like more hostile because it just felt a bit more like Tsushima itself. You really felt like the Mongol invasion. There were like burned villages everywhere, and you'd find like dead corpses and stuff in the woods, like just randomly. But there was still that like samurai sort of presence and feel, whereas this one felt a bit more. The locals, there was more these like gangster factions and gangs around, which felt a bit gave it a bit of a different flavor, which was quite nice.
Yeah, that's true. Going to the story, I don't know if you did this, but when I first got there, I tried to attack the Eagles hideout.
Yes,
first on, and I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but I did that, and then obviously you get taken out, as in the actual game when you try and go for Koten Khan, he like throws you off a bridge. So something similar happened in this, where you get poisoned, and then like these hallucinations start happening. But I thought that was a really cool concept of that, because it kind of the whole thing is about like coming to terms with his father's death, and like trying to move forward from that like traumatic moment, and he gets flashbacks in the initial game, but this one like puts it on like 1,000 of like what's happening, because she poisons you, and then you kind of have these doubts and have these weird like hallucinations. Yeah, what do you think of that sort of concept of trying to put that like mind control sort of stuff in there?
I actually really liked it, and I kind of embraced that sort of change they were going for, like that kind of psychedelic element. Because I think, as you say, like you get poisoned and you have these strange visions, and it ties in really nicely with the game, and it kind of pushes that narrative forward. Like you feel that attachment for Jin, like you felt that attachment anyway. He's got that conflict with like his uncle throughout the first game, and that's sort of replaced here with his, memories of his father, which they did touch on a bit in the previous game, but like they obviously go into real depth, and I really liked that because it was just different enough. It gave this expansion kind of a new edge. So it wasn't just a rehashing of the old game, but again, it still felt really nice and fresh.
Yeah, that's true. And it reminded me, I don't know if you had this thought, but did you played the Batman Arkham Asylum?
Oh, yes, it definitely had that kind of feel.
It reminded me of, the Scarecrow missions.
Yeah.
When he makes you, I thought it was really clever how they did this. It was like, do you remember that mission where you play Bruce Wayne as a kid? Like, he makes you go back into a child, and you relive like the trauma when your parents died. They did the same thing in this game when he's walking through the well thing as a kid, and then he's walking through like the cave, and then he changes, and then he goes to the adult version. I was like, I really liked the parallels of that because I thought it was just an interesting moment. I wasn't mad at all that they kind of like took that bit, but I was really happy because it really put you into the mindset of the character, like I said before. I think they upped that in this DLC to try and get you his thoughts, what he's thinking, coming to terms with his father's death, whether he could have done more. And yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was great.
I think just on that as well, you mentioned that scene where you're walking through like the cave or the well as a kid, and I just thought like visually that was amazing.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
You've got like, and he's like hallucinating like these cherry blossoms like falling off trees, and it was just stunning. Like I loved that level.
Yeah. That was really cool. Very good. But so that was pretty cool. What did you think of the missions? Because there's about, I'd say around 8, maybe 7 or 8, something like that, on the main story.
The main story is not super long. Yeah, it didn't take too long. I got to the end of it and I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked something a bit longer, but I mean, with the artwork, with the interview, with the gameplay, and with the side quests you can go on in this, I was like, okay. I thought it's worth the money, but maybe a bit longer it could have been.
Yeah. So I mean, that said, I think with the sort of narrative they were going for and that kind of exploring him and his father's relationship, I think if it went on too much longer, it would have started to like beat you over the head with it. Like, oh my God, my dad. I think it was, in that sense, it was kind of just in terms of the missions themselves, I think you feel it from the very beginning. Like in terms of the combat and the enemies, it's a real step up from the previous game.
Oh yeah, they have like different weapons as well.
Different weapons, different enemies. You had to be really focused if you wanted to get through unscathed.
Yeah, I think there's a mission on the ship where you have to take it out. That is a pretty good mission. And yeah, there's a few quite big fight scenes in that game, and even the scene to get to the end character, like you go through, that's such a long mission. Like you're going through such a long journey, and then you end up in the water bit by the sea. But to actually even get there, it takes ages.
Yeah, and the enemies are really tough in that game. Like, but before you even go to Wiki Island, you get your introduction to those characters on the beach.
Yeah.
Like you go to investigate, and they attack you. And that was really hard. I was like, oh my God. The like chanting shaman and whatnot. Which makes everyone go, completely crazy. But it was good. It was a nice challenge. It was a nice, up level.
Yeah, that's another part of the whole story is you're working with the guy who kills your dad.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, you're working with that guy, which is another element of the whole story. And it seems like your dad kind of murdered their people. in that story. So that there's a whole another part of this actual journey, which I thought it was really good how they tied that into the actual game. I thought it was really cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really liked that. I think as well, there's that like in the first game there was sort of that him not living up to his father's expectation, and this
Yeah.
was more him like being disillusioned with his dad as a person, which was really good. Just seeing the other side of the coin when he actually meets the people on the island, that was really nice.
Yeah, it kind of showed the other side of some people look at people as like the highest part or like really honorable or like really in a positive light, but they're not really when you see the other side of them. So yeah, that was interesting. What did you think of the last boss fight?
Oh my god, I died so many times.
Oh, with the eagle, yeah, I did as well.
I had to go. It got to the point. It got to the point where I was like, didn't know if I'd actually be able to do it. You're gonna tell me now that you killed her first try, aren't you?
I think I did. But I play on easy though, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I play on normal, middle, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to the point where I was rolling away from her constantly.
I do that anyway. I'm just rolling like constantly.
Yeah. In terms of like the boss fights in general, I think what this game does so well anyway is just making it feel really cinematic. It's always in such a grand like setting. The music, oh, that's another element of these games. The music is always just amazing.
That's true.
But yeah, the boss fight itself was difficult, but again, satisfying ending, I think. In terms of the villain, I'd sort of rate her kind of maybe like a 7 out of 10, character and looks wise.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I liked her ability more than her actual character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked that more, like, because you don't know anything about her. Like, there's no development or anything, or why she's even there. It was just like they kind of threw this in here. So I think that's something that could have possibly been improved. Just a bit of background and just give you more of a purpose and reason while you're trying to take her down. But yeah, I like that they went with the. I don't know if you played Black Ops 1, Call of Duty.
Yeah, I have played it briefly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, what do the numbers mean? Like that's something to do with that game where they like it's a whole psychological thing, and like the people that are helping you end up screwing you at the end. But yeah, I like the yeah. I like the psychological elements. So yeah, that was really cool. Did you do the side quest to get the armor in this one?
Like the monkey armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
That's such a cool side quest when you go in that cave to try and get the armor.
And you got to do the flaming arrows to like
get
your way. That was brilliant. Yeah, I love that. And that's the other thing. Like with the combat being so good, I wondered like how they were gonna sort of improve on it. And like they didn't do anything massive, but there were like those little touches. Like with that armor, it lets you dodge parry really easily. And you could
that's ridiculous when have you done that against someone? It's crazy. They like when you do that, they just pause and you can just slice them up. They can't do anything. but I like that the downside of that is you basically can't block. Like that's the downside of the armor. So it's not just completely overpowered. So like when I go to like liberate villages and stuff like that, and there's like a general. I just change back into the ghosts and armor, but I do everything else with the monkey armor, so that when I face the like generals, I can actually block rather than like getting sliced up when I fight them. But yeah, those I thought that armor's really, and it's so extra. It's like a monkey on your head.
Yeah, if you upgrade it completely, you get the full on monkey on the head. Brilliant. I mean, why not? Why not?
I just think it's funny just running at someone with a monkey on your head, like, and just slicing them up. Like, imagine seeing that. Like, that's the last thing you see is a monkey.
I mean, this game does that so well, though, doesn't it? Like that, the way you just like kill your enemies is ridiculous. Like, and it's so smooth and fluid, and you just can take out if you're concentrating. That is, you can just take out so many in like a couple of strokes.
Yeah. I mean, and it gets better as you upgrade the attacks and stuff. Like there's some you see that you don't even see before. Like there's I don't know if you've done that one where you just run and like dash and just do one slice.
Yes.
At someone.
Yeah.
That's my favorite move in the whole game, because when he does that, it's just like he just stops there for a second and the guy's just like dead on your right. That's one of my favorite moves. And also like when you kill someone, or when you've like really injured someone and you can end the suffering when they're like crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
That's so brutal.
Or the what was it? You can slaughter the generals and stuff.
That's the best move.
Just walk up behind them and just in front of all of their men as well. You just completely remove their head. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say, just going back to the armor. Did you unlock the God of War armor at all?
No, I haven't done that.
Oh, it's amazing! Like there are those shrines. I think if you do a certain thing in front of a shrine, you can unlock the. His like iconic armor with the like big antlers.
Yeah.
That armor, you can get a God of War version of that, and it's like
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's all white and it's got like the red tattoo that Kratos has.
Oh wow, I should do that.
Yeah, just check that out. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. I just really like the Gosen, I think it's called. That's my favorite armor. The orange one with
armor.
Yeah, with the white hair and
yeah,
like
that's brilliant.
The mustache mask, like that. I think that's the best. I think that's the best armor in the whole game, because it just looks like if you saw that, you would just run. There's no way you'd ever face up to someone dressed in that.
It's almost as good as the loincloth you can wear. Have you unlocked that?
If I have, I've never used it.
You've got to go to all of the what is it? All the hot springs. If you go to all the hot springs,
you just want to see Jin's ass in the hot springs.
The funniest thing, my friend. I recommend this game to all my friends anyway, and one of my friends was playing this, and he said, "Noel, I found a hot spring in the woods. I got more ass than I bargained for." Oh, sorry. All right, sorry. Let's stay on track. Always bring it back to ass. Just very quickly. Like in terms of replay, though, do you think this is something you're going to go back and play a lot, or do you think it's more of a one-time experience?
Dude, I'm still liberating the villages of Japan.
Like the main island.
No, I've got like 2 more left, and then I've done all the villages.
I mean, to be fair, it's quite big. It's a fair sized game.
Yeah, have you done all the villages?
No. It's like that. I've done all the like large bases. Yeah, not the small ones. I mean, I tried earlier this week. I tried 100%ing like the main island, going around getting all the shrines. I spent like 2 hours, and I've only done like 5% of the bottom. I was like, maybe this completionist thing isn't for me.
Yeah, I think I'll just try and do the villages and then just leave it there. I don't think I can do like 100%. But you can replay some of the villages anyway. When you complete them.
That's a nice upgrade.
I really do like that, because what I do like just for casual, because I play like Call of Duty or whatever, and you have to use a headset. But sometimes I just want to chill and listen to music, like while I'm playing games, and that's when I just put that on. Just to try something different. It's just quite relaxing, but you can still use your brain when you're doing it. So like, and you don't need like the sound in it. So that I play it to kind of just relax like that. So I think there's replay value, because you can do the different things again. Well, one of them is so hard. I forgot which village this is. I think it's around about the middle bit of the island. Oh my God. There's so many. It was just mad. It's massive. Like it's a huge compound, and in it you've got to kill this general who's patrolling. You've got to do these It's also, you know, those guys with the hats, the straw hats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the compound has a mixture of them and a mixture of the Mongols in it, and it's just massive. It's just ridiculous. It took me like 20 minutes to actually do that village.
Just
So,
hiding in the bush.
oh my! Have you seen people do this on YouTube?
Yes. Oh my god.
I was watching that the other day. That is so ridiculous.
They don't even use what is it? The ghost vision. They just like strut around and like take people out.
It's what the one I saw. This guy was like, it's called the Lighthouse one. Did you see that one? That is such a joke. So he goes to the top of this lighthouse, jumps all the way down to this top, and then just before he dies and hits the ground, he slaughters the guy. It's so ridiculous. So just before he's about to die, he cuts his head off and lands on his feet, and there's this other bit of it where he jumps down, swings on something else, and just like kills someone at the bottom. It's there's a lot of creativity to doing those missions. I was like, I had no idea that you can play it like this, but there seems to be loads of different ways of doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Which do you prefer, stealth or just
I always do stealth, but sometimes what ends up happening is that everyone gets alerted.
Yeah, fair enough. What? Oh, I forgot to mention one thing we didn't say. They introduced the like horse charging thing.
Oh yeah, that was a quite cool thing where you can like charge your horse into people. Yeah.
Yeah, it works on everything apart from bears.
Oh, dude, I don't want any smoke with any bear. Like every time I see that poor thing, like I'm gold, I'm off. I'm just keep going. I've never stopped. There was this one that was crazy. There was this bear that was chasing me. There was this bear that was chasing me in one of the villages. So in what happens in the village? This is quite an odd mission, but in the village you're trying to take over, they're being attacked by a bear. like they're being attacked by the bear in the village, so they're being distracted, and I just let the bear like deal with them, and then the bear came after me. So I just saw the bear, and luckily I jumped it just as it swiped. So it's like chasing me, and I jumped on a house and like just ran away. But yeah, those remind me of like the Red Dead Redemption, that cougar that just comes out like in the middle of nowhere. All you hear is that swipe and that loud roar, and your screen's just gone.
Doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be riding at like the fastest speed imaginable, and it will still just tear you off your horse.
It's like one swipe. That's it. You don't get any second chance.
No, I think in terms of this game, like a lot of the time, you get a lot of second chances in this game. Combat aside, if you're not paying attention, you're dead. But I think every other aspect, you're okay. If you get caught when doing stealth, you just run away, hide in a bit long enough, you're fine, and it all resets. The AI themselves aren't the smartest, obviously. Like,
no, they're not. No.
You can shoot someone in the head and they go crazy for about 5 minutes, and then they just go back to guarding the hut.
Yeah, that's true. They're not the greatest. But I've started to use those wind chime things a bit more. When you can distract people with those wind chimes.
Oh, I love the wind chime, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't actually use them towards the start of the game because I was like, what the hell is this? But they're actually really useful to distract enemies and draw them away. I think they especially work sometimes the enemies are positioned at weird like stances. So like, how like 3 of them are usually around a fire.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're at distances where you can't do the chain attack. So if you draw one away, you can chain attack 2 of them. So I always find that's a good way to take out multiple enemies. Because what ends up happening otherwise is you do the chain attack on 2 of them and you can't reach the 3rd one. Which is just a bit silly when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say with the wind chimes, you can attack the like poison, the like toxic poison charm, and it kills.
You can do that.
Yeah, there's a charm you can get if you you have to go to one of the shrines on the first island, and if you attach that, when he picks it up, release gas and it kills him.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right,
So
okay.
that's worth looking into. It's called like Charm of Toxic Demise, I think it's called.
Oh, right. That's cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing actually with the expansion. Some of the charms they introduced were really good. Like there's this one where if you use what is it? If you heal yourself, it makes it like during combat parry.
Wait, sorry, the connection went. What did you say?
Sorry, there's some of the new charms are really good. Like
Yeah.
there's on Icky Island, there's one where if you put that on, if you equip that, it makes perfect parries really easily every time you heal yourself.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I need to heal myself all the time.
Yeah, I'm doing that quite a lot.
Not necessarily through combat, mainly from jumping off ledges that I think are okay.
Oh my God, I did something so stupid on one of them. I went up, you know those yellow birds that take you to like things, like take you to like special. So this one took me up the top of a mountain. I was like, God, I can't be able to go down. So I was just trying to, I was just trying to glitch my way down. I was like slide on some rocks, but yeah, that didn't go very well.
That's the other brilliant thing. You could be on your way to do a mission, and it's just like, oh, bird! Oh, it's brilliant. It's a great way for them to just make you explore.
Yeah, well, with the side characters, like someone will just be crying like in a field, and then you could just go on a side quest of something you had no idea that was even there.
But how many of those side quests, though, the people just betray you, or they're just straight up lie?
That's the story of life.
Like, there's this one, as you say, there's a woman crying outside a hut. She's like, bandits stole all my food. So you go and you find the bandits, you kill them all, and you bring back her food. And she's like, oh, you didn't hurt them, did you? He's like, what, you said they stole your food? Yeah, about that. And she was lying the whole time. It's the case with so many of them.
Yeah.
Apparently you couldn't trust anyone in feudal Japan.
Yeah, but overall, I thought I really enjoyed the DLC. I thought it was a really good addition to the game. It'd be interesting to see if they do anything else with this game, or whether they maybe make a sequel to it.
I thought there was a sequel in the works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard there was a sequel in the works, and I'll double check.
Okay, yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll definitely buy that when it comes out. But obviously, the whole story is going to have to be different, and I'm wondering whether they get even focus on the same character. I think what they'll do is choose a different time period, and actually explore that and go into detail on that because, well, I think they can do stuff with the existing character, but I kind of think they've just hit the limit on the story in the sense.
I think his arc is pretty complete. I mean, what else is there to focus on?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I kind of like more games don't do this for some reason, but like I really like the True Detective model. So like you have a theme, but the characters are different. So what True Detective does is it follows different time periods and different officers investigating different cases, but the theme running in it is always the same. So maybe it might have a theme of like, I don't know, underground world or criminals or like secret societies, or like kidnapping and stuff like that. But then it will take you in a different direction of that. So you have the strength of the story, but they really get the most out of the characters while they're there. So it feels like you've started a new journey, even though it's the same thing. I think more games should try and do that. I mean, to an extent, GTA did that with different main characters that you follow, like Tommy Vercetti, CJ, and then the Russian dude, and some other people. But like, I feel more games need to stop just dealing with one character, unless you do it to the extent like God of War, where it's just so layered into how far you put it. I like the model where they just look at different people.
But even with God of War, surely like that character still only got so much steam. Like I actually haven't played the most recent one, but like, is there anything left they could do with that character, or is that?
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, there's so many games of that as well. So they've gone into the story, but they keep finding more Greek gods for him to beat up. So
Well, they're not even Greek gods now anymore, are they? They're Norse gods.
oh yeah.
What's next? He's just gonna kill every sort of deity going.
To be honest, when I played the first game, I was like, wow, how far can they take this? They just kept taking it to the next level in different games. So yeah, I mean, maybe it is possible to do that.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't really mind what they do. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's going to be very hard to tarnish this game as it is, because it is just really like so solid in so many ways. I think in regards to keeping the character the same, I think that would be quite difficult. I think I read a comment on something that they might focus on him going to mainland Japan, and that could work maybe, but you're probably not going to have the same sort of like emotional punch to the first game did.
What? So he ends up becoming an office worker working in finance. So it's like a Sims generator where you like start your own life as like a normal person. So he like goes, his soul transforms into someone in an office.
Or better yet, Segal.
Dude, no one's gonna understand that joke, but I do. That's all that matters.
Just while on that topic, I think you need to have a separate channel running alongside this one that dives deep into Segal, because that's your other sort of passion project on the side.
Well, what Noel's referring to is Steven Seagal. So I pretty much collected like all his movies back in the day, and that was probably some of the best moments of my life, watching his movies and just laughing at how bad they are. I might even just we should do that. We should watch a Seagal movie and just review it, and just make a video on that.
Channel review on the side.
Yeah, I mean, I might even integrate that into one of these videos. I mean, we've got loads to talk about. I just want to focus on this, on Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, there's loads of videos we can make in the future, future content and stuff like that. But
stay on track, stay focused. Your fans are gonna get annoyed.
My fans are you and me. Lily every now and then, Matt. Who also watches some of them. Oh, congratulations to Matt having a baby. Really great news as well. Hopefully he watches this video when he gets a moment. Going back to Ghost of Tsushima, because we've kind of gone on a tangent for the last 15 minutes. Is there anything you want to add or anything to this game?
I was just going to say, anything you disliked? Anything about the DLC that you disliked at all? I mean, we mentioned briefly the main game dislikes, but overall, were you just happy with it?
It's hard because I don't know what they could have really added to this. I mean, maybe made the world bigger, maybe have added more villages to like liberate. I didn't see any. I didn't really understand that. Do you have to explore the whole island?
It's optional. You can do the main story, but then there's always the other optional things like shrines, boxes, whatever.
So I'll probably have to do that to explore the whole extent of it. But not really, to be honest. I thought it was good. I didn't really think. I mean, maybe the main story could have been longer. I'd say that could have been longer.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I thought it was brilliant. I still haven't played the Legends mode, something we haven't talked about. Like,
I played that for a bit. It's kind of an extension of the village liberation part, but more combat based. So they give you more stealth and combat stuff. So some of it is quite challenging. Like you have to be quite good with your attacks and defenses.
Is that why you didn't play it very long?
I mean, we could do the co-op on that and play that because
we should try.
Yeah, we could do that. That'd be quite fun. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that mode, but just because I'm like, why is my whole screen red? But like I would have liked them to get that off the screen because I think it's a bit odd. Out of it kind of looks like Mortal Kombat when you go into different levels. But yeah, I like that, but that's not really something I go to play.
Fair enough. I mean, like, you're probably the first person I've heard of that says it isn't like your cup of tea. Like, because people seem to be raving about it on comment threads and things. I suppose it's one way of like appeasing those other like samurai game fans that, because most of the games, as we said before, delve into the supernatural part, like Samurai Legend, and I think that's their way of appeasing those fans while not having it seep into the main story. But yeah, I still need to play it, so I'll let you know how I find it.
Yeah, that'll be good. And then we can get to that and talk about it. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking for 45 minutes, so I think I'll probably wrap this up.
This is what, halfway?
This conversation could easily be longer. But I'm just worried about the render time and whether anyone will actually watch this because it's a 45-minute video. But yeah, so I'll probably just end it. But yeah, thanks for coming on. Really good talking to you, and hope definitely get you back to discuss something else or review some Segal in the future.
And can I just say before we finish that, like, this is the only channel I subscribe to where I watch the video straight away as soon as I get it. I'm just like, yes, brilliant.
Thanks for that. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I hope everyone else enjoyed. Take care. Bye.
Bye.